Hello, it's Naomi Smalls, and I am back with another episode of From Head to Toe, and we are recapping episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. We are back this week with the talent show. I was actually scared there was not going to be a runway this week and next week. This week I feel like the runway didn't necessarily matter to the judges because they did the runway first and the talent show after, but that's why we're here from head to toe to get into the runway looks. So starting with RuPaul. And RuPaul comes out in this like pleated, multicolor fabric. I like that it's all like metallic. It reminds me very like Barbie. This is a very classic Ru look with the big blonde hair. Ru is wearing my favorite earrings. I think that I've ever seen her like repeat on the runway. It's like these like large crystal like floating inset. Could be clip-ons. I hope they're clip-ons because they look so heavy. I think my favorite detail about Ru's look right now is that she is like nailed. Like we are in Ru's nail era, and I've never really like thought of her as wearing like daggers. I love this belt on Ru. I like that it has like the asymmetrical on the top and it has that asymmetrical on the bottom. It looks like it's made out of like a silver leather. It's a really smart part of your body to focus on like being leather or like appearing like metal, because especially RuPaul isn't doing a lot of bending that it can actually read metal on camera. And I think that the matching of the shoe is gorgeous. Up first, we have CIARA MYST. And CIARA MYST is a black and red demon. Before I start, the category is Not Today Satan. Not Today Satin. You see what they did there? CIARA MYST, I feel like, read the brief and she was like, I'm gonna hit the nail on every single head. I'm gonna give you the devil. I'm gonna give you the satin. I'm gonna give you the Prada logo that says Ciara or satin or something. The Prada moment on her like butt crack. I feel like CIARA MYST cares a lot about the makeup when she comes to the runway. Like she spends so much time and effort on the makeup, and I think that a lot of the details are somewhat lost for Drag Race because there's just so much to focus on. Like if it's not this like horned updo, it's this like leather glove, and it's like the boot that connects to the pants, and it has the claw boot moment. She is an enigma. CIARA MYST is definitely an enigma to me. I don't think we've had a queen on the show that cares so much about the like special effects, and that makes total sense. I don't know if she's wearing a thigh boot that she connected to like, I don't know if these shoes are completely custom. I'm very curious, but they are a leather panta booty, but it has like the seam that cuts her off like at the boy short seam. And I feel like if these are custom, it would have been cool just to keep those like seams on the side. But if they're not custom and she found like a thigh high pair of boots and connected it to like a leather short, very inventive. I do like that, but if they're custom, seams on the side. Leather is so hard because you get like these pelts of leather and you can only work with so much, and it's not like you could kill another cow at home and rewarp it. So I'm telling you, CIARA MYST is an enigma to me, but we'll figure her out from head to toe. Up next, Juicy Love DION. Juicy Love DION is coming out in a quilted satin, very earthy, lettucey, cabbagey look. I'm looking at this and I can tell that a lot of work went into this. I love how like the back neck collar stays up the entire time she's walking down the runway. There's no like wobble down, no coming forward. Like it looks sturdy. I love this perfect jewelry match for this. I feel like those like stones that she's using really work well with this like purpley fabric. I love that these are like complementary colors. Like we are like trained to enjoy these colors together. The seam work that's happening all over is obviously took a lot of time, obviously is very custom. I think a lot of that is actually helping the fabric stand up. This is a great look. I love that her shoe matches the green. I love that she didn't make her shoe match the purple. That probably would have looked too matchy-matchy in a weird way. And then I think that maybe the only thing I would change about this look is that wig, just because we saw this last week. Up next, NINI COCO. And NINI COCO is a full under the water, under the sea satin moment. I think my favorite part about NINI COCO's look this week is her confessional, where she's coming out and telling you, bitch, I didn't make this look, so don't look too closely. I commissioned this one and this is not my work. It doesn't scream NINI COCO. It screams a lot more older than I think her drag reads. And I think that NINI actually loves to do this like no wig, body stocking, everything covered, but she does it and remixes it in a way that doesn't seem like she's like trying to hide anything or like hiding behind anything or anything's wearing her. But I feel like this look is just a lot. It's a lot of like ruffles and starfishes, and the way that it's put together, she kind of looks like she's like a Little Mermaid background character of like a live action production. The makeup is always gorgeous. I feel like the makeup is really what like helps sell this look. She's just one of those girls that knows her own body so well. Even like this like rhinestone placing in her midsection doesn't make her look any thinner. It makes her eyes like go straight to it, which I feel like she would not do herself as a stranger, not knowing her through the television. Up next, VITA VONTESSE STARR. And VITA VONTESSE is in this gold and green emeraldy moment. This actually almost gives me that like that liquid look silk organza more than it gives me satin immediately, but then obviously when she's walking I can see the difference. These colors are great together. The ginger hair with the green and exactly the gold, that's probably exactly how I would accessorize it. I think that maybe just like a little bit, if we're gonna do especially a body stocking as your bare chest with these necklaces, I think we need to go even heavier and like add some more bulk to this. I see that she used that like gold broken mirror as like a belt, and I'm not mad at that element coming into this look. I think maybe even like doing a few straps of necklaces out of that like broken mirror could have like just helped keep the embellishment cohesive, because that shoe is like a rhinestone silvery shoe and it looks so out of like pocket on the zoom out with this. But I love her use of the gloves for this. I think that actually like gave it a little bit of edge. Sometimes a glove will really like help you and sometimes a glove will really hurt you. Later, I do think some bitches got hurt by the glove. For how big the hood is and how big the hair is, I think like having this so open, she just needed to really pile it on. Similar to how she piled on all the accessories for her favorite body part runway. There's something about this skirt length that is off. I think it maybe we just needed to not see her shoes. I think maybe like a platform shoe to the floor, column, tall, high, instead of like, it's a little church where she's like hitting her right at the opening of her pump. Up next, Darlene Mitchell. And Darlene Mitchell, I feel like this is very soft. This is very feminine for her. I can see that she was maybe like influenced by like Disney princesses. I feel like the mix of that red maroonish velvet with this like powder blue satin gives me like Aurora and Cinderella. I don't know what's going on with Disney. I just called some bitch from Little Mermaid. But there's something about satin fabric in drag that can go costumey so fast. That's probably why I'm getting Disney, live action Disney stuff. Like that connection is happening for me. I wish that these shoes, okay, Darlene, maybe the other shoes, because these are so, I actually appreciate that she took a more feminine approach to the footwear this week. It's your own demise when the judges give you a critique one week and the next week you just repeat that same shit or don't at least pretend like you're listening to it. I think that she obviously wanted to like prove a point by wearing this shoe. Love this idea of the shoe with the strap and the closed toe. There's just something about a tall bitch in drag. So like she's a tall bitch, obviously. And then she's in drag with this like extra foot on top of her hair. And we're trying to, you know, elevate the legs and everything and make everything look taller. That when you put this like 2-inch shoe on it, it's better, but it's still off. So maybe next week she's gonna knock it out of the park. This look maybe just needed more of a story to go with it, because I could actually even see like, you know, how we can get to like the princess and the pea territory from Satin Brief, but the factor of just being a 7-foot tall drag queen, like we need to like nip it at the right places. Wear, I think, non-cone head shaped hair and a higher heel would have just made her look like the glamazon I know Darlene can be. I see it. Up next, Mia Starr. And Mia Starr is the biggest Christmas bow on top of the Christmas tree, I believe is what she said. She decided to do a very risky choice this week and be a drag queen with no waist. I think there's a time and a place for a sack look. I think that this look maybe could have used, like, if we're gonna do the sack look, I think this could have used like a higher updo, higher length of glove, and I almost want to say a slit in the middle of her dress, just to like have everything like open and cascading when she's like walking down the runway. But also that updo that I mentioned would not have done anything to cover her exposed breastplate. And that's what makes me so sad, because last week I was literally just saying like, I'm never gonna see her breastplate. She makes me so comfortable. I'm never clocking those little details. I don't know if she has like a piece of like double-sided tape underneath it, or she glued a bit to it or anything, but like, respect. A bitch spoke too soon. I actually really like this like color combo on her. I love seeing her in the pale blonde. I think it's just like adding those lines, adding a slit. I do like how large this bow is. I think it probably could have just rounded out. Some wiring and some horsehair could have been added to it to give it some shape. It's actually, I'm full of the cartoons today. But you know when like Sailor Moon is going through her transformation, it's almost like that bow that's like first to cover up her bits and then she transforms into everything. Like we're almost there, but there's something like it's giving curtain call at a Christmas show right now. But no one's going home today, so fuck it. Up next, MYKI MEEKS. And MYKI MEEKS is coming down in a black and powder blue look. She has like the wire concoction over her head that looks like she's just being encapsulated by this blue satin. I love the look of that, like, I don't know, on the runway they call it leather. I'm convinced it's that black neoprene with the black lace overlay. Whatever that is looks great on the main stage. So for the girls who want to do like a leather-esque look, maybe dip your toe in the neoprene overlay world. She's got the big bow to make it fun. She's added the blue into her updo. There's that horizontal line that's at the back of her skirt. I'm not even so mad at it because it's in the back. We, as drag queens, like the back of my hair. We as drag queens, it's like how I look from the back is none of my business sometimes. But because we are on the RuPaul's Drag Race main stage and there's cameras from every single angle, those horizontal lines at the mermaid gowns just really do not help anybody, she can totally pull off like a boa and a smile, and I'd be like, hell yeah, bitch. I like the way that she accessorized this with the black earring up against that blue satin. I think not going crystal or not going just like silver metal, like having that black against her like collar and against the blue is something that was a really nice stylistic choice for the runway. Up next, Athena DION. And Athena DION is in this like full hot pink fuchsia satin ruffle moment. I totally get satin when Athena DION walks out. This is actually a color that like I love in drag. I think it's so ready for the main stage as well. Like if you look behind her, she's literally like the same color as the main stage. I feel like this is the same color as the workroom. I think that this color on her makes her look like way more tan, which we always love in drag. We always want to look like our skin is warming up, especially as a girl from Miami, I'm sure. I do wish that this was just like a little bit scoochier. And I'm one to talk where you can almost see my panty. But having that like skirt a little higher, having her like chest piece a little lower, I think would have just made this like really, it would have given her that like small torso, long legs look that I think is so pleasing in drag. And I think that a lot of us actually, I'm speaking from a very privileged standpoint, but like I think a lot of silhouettes aim for that in fashion and drag and everything, that I would have just loved to seen it a little. And just, again, she's a young girl. She's only 30 and 30 is very young. So dress the part. So Athena DION is wearing this like pink satin duvet cover matched with this like pink satin-esque glove that she's having to carry. I do think that ditching that glove for a bare hand with, even if you want to lean in and be monochromatic, I fully support you. Having that same stone as like a bracelet and like having that match the stones that are in her bodice that she has as her earrings, I think would have just like given her arms a little bit of a breath. I mean, 2 seconds ago, I literally just said like lean in and do the monochromatic if we're gonna do the monochromatic. But I could have also seen her doing like a blonde wig underneath the headscarf just to make everything pop a little bit more and to have it be like, I'm wearing a wig in drag and I'm just a sucker for hair. So I'm always gonna try and pluck the pussy hairs when it comes to the wig choices. I think that Athena DION would benefit from dressing what I think in her mind a hoe would dress like, and just taking everything a little higher up, a little more chest exposed. I understand wanting to tie in the satin up top because, bitch, I almost put this fur of, like, I almost did this today. Like, I get as drag queens are trying to carry everything up, you know? But I don't think this was the right use of that. Up next, Kenya Pleaser. And Kenya Pleaser comes out in this orange and red and yellow mustardy marigold color satin look. I love this. I feel like this is exactly, like, this is classic drag. Not doing too much, leaning into the theme, but like remixing it in a way that is like special to Kenya. And maybe, I feel like every week I talk about Kenya, I'm just saying like, I love her, so I'm sold by it. But bitch, she sold it for me. I love this little Miss Piggy shoe on Kenya. I don't know what it is about this specific shoe, but it was giving me like hanging off of, like I could see it hanging like off of ventriloquist, but like in a compliment way, like her feet just look like so cute and petite. I think it's really nice, and it just proves that Kenya Pleaser is such a nice girl, a sweet girl, a girl's girl, that Jane Don't was a sweetheart and let her take this dressing gown that she could safety pin up and remix it in a way for the runway, for this category. I will say for future girls going into the competition, as someone who knows that this is gonna live online forever, when we're doing our runway voiceovers, instead of saying like, well, my dress didn't come in the mail, so I'm wearing this, don't do that. As a viewer, we want to hear like, I'm stomping down the runway, I'm giving you satin from every single angle. There's just something that's gonna age better by owning it, narration owning it, instead of like, well, this is the best I could do. And I just lost a nail. Every single time I talk shit, I lose a goddamn nail. And Kenya Pleaser is doing this like color combination that is very animated on cam with the black circular fro. I love that her hair is, there's nothing so pleasing about seeing an afro that you can tell there's more than just one Party City teased out to like fingers crossed to God to make it look full. Like this is definitely 2 or 3 or maybe 2.5 afros combined together to give that nice bubble shape. You're not like looking at the afro and being able to be like, I could stick my fingers through that part. You're not being able to see like the backdrop through it, and that looks so cartoonish in the right way on the main stage. I love this color combination on Kenya, something that is taking me like with this like color blocking to like the 70s. Even if you put your finger over her face and you don't see the fro, there's still something very like 70s influenced with this look. And I think that this is like the perfect length for this. I would not have wanted this as a mini. I would not have wanted this as like a full-length gown type of moment. I think that Kenya really understands how to dress her body, and I love to see it. And I love to see Kenya every single week, so let's keep that up. Up next, Jane Don't. So obviously this bird is gorgeous. I think she had this bird already and she just wanted to wear it on the main stage, and she found her like excuse. This is a runway actually where like I highly support the girls taking a risk, because you're not going home immediately, because you're not gonna have a bottom placement, you're not gonna have to lip sync in some crazy look. Like this is the look where I think you can take the risk. Jane Don't is obviously a maximalist, and you can see it in her drag, like the wig with the rhinestones and the accoutrement and the glove and the added stones to the clouds, and there being more than just one stone in the clouds. Like, it's just a lot. Nothing about this reads satin to me, like in the way that like planning a RuPaul's Drag Race main stage runway brief goes. Having the necklace with the bird, like this bitch is a maximalist. Like we can't even see the necklace, but you decided to wear it. Like she is doing all of it, and she's also wearing the exact same gloves that ATHENA DION had on, which is another reason to take those fucking gloves off. If you are standing in the lineup and you see someone wearing the exact same thing as you, glue the nail on. My favorite detail about Jane Done's look, besides the bird, which is gorgeous, is she's wearing this like colored tight with this like yellow strappy shoe. It's something that like I always forget about in drag because I'm so, bitch, I'm old school. I think I can actually say that's a real take now. I think maybe 12 years in the game, 13 years in the game, 14 years in the game. Oh my God, how'd we get here? I feel very old school, and I think that like a colored tight with a shoe in drag is so not where my brain goes. I go to like flesh tone and capezio and a fishnet and maybe a black sheer, but never a colored tight with an accent shoe. And Jane Don't did that here today. You can barely see it, but when she turns around, it's a nice detail to get from head to toe. Discord Addams comes out in this earth tone newspaper satin printed newspaper print custom, I believe, to Discord's. It says like all hail something Discord Addams related, and I'm guessing this is like a Cruella inspiration. It also gives me like earth tone, muddy, ran through the trash, Lady Liberty. It's really hard to wear these like earth tones on Drag Race because I think there's a time and a place for everything in drag. There's a time and a place for knitwear, even though knitwear is so hard to do in drag. There's a time and a place for brown and neutrals, even though that is sometimes hard to do in drag. These earth tones, it's not that it's the wrong place, but it's like hard to pull it off on this runway now that has like all these LED fuchsia and oranges and yellows, like, and then you're standing next to this girl who's in like hot pink monochromatic down to her like eyeshadow color. So it just reads, Discord reads a little out of place. And sometimes that is a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but when it comes to like your colors just looking muddy, I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. I don't know if she's telling us if she's like a trash queen through Discord's character through past weeks. I don't necessarily, I think of her as like crafty, but I don't think of her as like a trash girl. And I have to say, I already miss her doing her walk. I feel like this walk was a little reserved. This walk was a little like held back. She didn't want to like get read again by the judges who are reading her, but then the cameramen are making a moment of it. It's very, this shit would piss me off if I was the queen competing, because I'm like, what the fuck do you want from me? Do you want me to like be myself, or do you want me to like do what RuPaul is kikiing with me in the workroom about, or do you want me to listen to Michelle who's dragging me on the main stage? It's a lot for your first time competing to get all these like mixed reviews of you just being you. I think that the most feminine thing about Discord's look this week is this shoe. I feel like this is the first time I've seen Discord in like a pump, not like a big platform boot. I think that Darlene and Discord took the same risk, switched it up this week, and I do think it actually makes them look a lot more feminine, but it does make them look a lot more, basic's not the right word, just regular. It makes them look a little bit more regular. So this is the look, having the trash and the garbage and the that you go crazy with the shoe. You don't do the office pump with this kind of a look. But girl, so many opinions are hitting you that your brain just works differently when you're at Drag Race. And that was all the looks from episode 5. Not Today Satin. And my best look of the week is, gotta give it to you, Kenya Pleaser. I feel like this is a really, even though it's not her look, but like the girls were fighting about way too much in the workroom. Have you performed this talent moment already? Well, that makes it worse. No. Have you worn this already? Well, that makes it worse. Did you borrow this from another girl? Well, actually that makes it better, in my opinion, in this case. Kenya Pleaser is giving exactly how I want to see Kenya Pleaser attack a satin themed runway. And no shocker, best wig, bam, put that photo up again. Kenya Pleaser. Zoom in tight to this full afro, stacked, teased out, bubble. Put it in, I'm guessing she arrived to Drag Race in bins and suitcases, and she knew to like tease this shit out so there's no like dips and pockets in her afro. And that was really pleasing to me. Let's just give it all to Kenya. She is my best shoe of the week. I am obsessed with Kenya Pleaser this week. I'm obsessed with Kenya Pleaser the past 4 weeks too, but it feels nice to be in a position where I can say best, 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 love, love, love. Can she please me? Yes, she can. And that is all the girls from head to toe. Tune into the Patreon for a closer look behind the curtain of Naomi Smalls' life. And tune in next week for episode 6. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you over on the Patreon. Bye, babes.